Jerry, the happy homeless hippie here, and it's time for another YouTube how-to video. Today we're going to talk about how you can choose the perfect hostel. Well, it's not really the perfect hostel because that's a lot of things you can't control, but there are a lot of things you can control, and we're going to talk about some of the tips on what you can do to come up with the best hostel possible. Okay, the price. The price is always an important thing, particularly for those of us out of budget, but it's not the big deal when choosing a hostel. Staying at the cheapest hostel in town is almost never a good choice. Find something that's nice. Find something you deserve: a nice warm bed and a clean room. And if you got to scrimp on the money, scrimp somewhere else. Don't scrimp on the comfort of a nice hostel. Location, location, location. I know you've heard that one before, but it's important with hostels as well. Choose a place that you want to be. A place that you're going to want to hang out at, downtown, by the beach. If you get a place that's $2 cheaper, but it costs you $2 taxi cab ride each way to get where you want to go, then that doesn't make any sense. So get a place where you want to be, because, well, you deserve it. Free breakfast is a good thing. A lot of hostels have free breakfast, and they're usually not 2 eggs over easy with ham and sausage or whatever, but they're basic continental type breakfasts. However, it's free, and it's good to have something in your stomach to start your day, so look for places that have free breakfast. A good, well-equipped kitchen is really an important thing. You can make food so much easier on your own, and it's just so much better on your budget. But always make sure you check the kitchen before you go to the grocery store, because you can easily end up with a microwavable pizza and without a microwave, and they just really don't taste that good that way. So go to a place, check the kitchen out, and check to see what how well equipped it is, and then go to the grocery store. Common rooms. Common rooms are really wonderful. It's where people go to sit and relax and socialize and communicate. Unfortunately, right now is the middle of the afternoon and there's nobody here, but last night this room was packed. It's where you get to socialize with other people and travelers from around the world, and that's really the best thing there is about traveling. There's nothing better than a rooftop terrace after a long day of hiking or biking or swimming or whatever, where you can just sit around and breathe fresh air and talk to other people and have a great time. So a place with a rooftop terrace is usually an added bonus. A swimming pool, wow, what an added bonus. Whether it's indoors or out, this one has a lovely seating little area. It's got a great pool. And across the pond here, there's even a jacuzzi, a hot tub. So how awesome is that? Pools are cool, inside or out. Just, if you can find a place that has a pool, that helps. In my opinion, a great hostel will have a great bar. And a cafe, or a place at least you can buy food if you need to, but and good food at that. You're only alive once. You deserve this stuff. Good security. Good security is essential in every hostel. You want someplace that's safe, that's nice, that has lockers, that you can provide your own locks for. You can lock the doors. I've never had any issues in a hostel, but it's still nice to have that extra layer of safety. 24-hour receptionist. It goes along with security, but it's just that extra layer, just in case you fall out of bed or something happens. There's somebody there that can deal with that, and that's just that extra layer that's nice to have. Ratings. Ratings are really an important issue when you're trying to look for a hostel. Personally, I use Hostel World. It tends to be the biggest, and they have a very, very, very good rating system. Although I have seen it cheated a few times, it's usually really very accurate, and I choose not to stay in places that are rated below an 8 because, well, I'm worth it. I deserve that. So, but look at the ratings, look at your budget. Don't cheat yourself again. It's not worth it. Reviews. Reviews are your best tool to try to find out what's going on around a hostel. Sometimes they're not so good. The one time I remember I saw a guy named Wilson, every review talked about how wonderful Wilson was and nothing else. What do you want to bet? Wilson wrote every single review. But there's still, it's a good way. Oh, another one is a rant. If it's a subject, if it's just one subject, like the toast I had this morning or something, that's a rant. Just throw it out. It really has nothing to do with a valid rating. But by and large, the reviews are written by worldwide or international travelers that can't lie to each other. So they're definitely a big asset. Daily activity is pretty awesome. Most hospitals have set aside some activities to do on a daily basis, like pub crawls or family dinner nights or whatever, bingo nights. Enjoy them. They're usually very well planned out. They're very well established, very safe, and usually a great deal of fun. So go for it.
Hi, my name is Johanna and I speak English.
Very well. Speaks English. It's not that I learned to speak English when I was 2, but English is now the international language of international travelers, and so you want a hostel that has at least decent English to where you can communicate pretty well. That's really an important thing because you've got to be able to communicate. AC or sweaty? Well, that's kind of an option. This time of year, a lot of places around the world get really hot and humid, and you can get AC in a lot of places, air conditioning, but in some places it's going to cost you. Some places it's going to cost you a lot. I've seen places advertise air conditioning in their rooms, and they have air conditioning. They just won't turn it on for less than $10 a day. Be careful. If it's $10 a day, go somewhere else. Always book your hostel at least one day in advance. You really don't want to go to a strange town without having a place that you know of to sleep at. I once spent 4 hours walking around Madrid after 10 o'clock at night in the snow and rain trying to find any place to sleep. Don't ever go to a new town without having a reservation for at least one night. And one night in advance is usually enough. Okay, my final piece of advice on choosing a perfect hostel is ask another traveler. They know. Travelers can't lie. It's just an unwritten law, and they know where you should go. So ask a traveler.